Try to breathe. Call you 7:22 a.m. Love the tone of your voice in the morning. I'm falling in love with you. When the air is thin and the flame is low, I need you more.
Ready to start it? Hey, Yandy Diaz might have had something to hit there on the very first pitch, but pops it to Torkelson for the game's first out.
You know, and that's what's really interesting, too, about Yandy Diaz is, you know, you think that he's an aggressive hitter, especially early in the count. He's not. He has gone after the first pitch at the lowest percentage of his career. And every time, you know, when he does, a lot of times good things happen, but he doesn't do it very often, and he missed one there.
He did. One pitch, one out. Rays went down very quickly yesterday against Montero. He threw only 68 pitches in 6 innings, so an aggressive approach. And it did not work yesterday. There's a ball to Jonathan Aranda.
You know, and but the one thing that I will say is Kyler Montero was very good. I mean, he really, we talked about it before, you know, the game today. He really pitched to the fringes very, very well. That was probably his best start of the season as far as what we saw, how he looked. He did not leave many pitches out over the plate.
No, he didn't. The mix he had, too. He didn't really know what was going to be coming. He seemed to command everything. That's the thing, too. Like you said, B.A., you can't overlook Flaherty just because he's having a rough stretch. There's a reason that he's been in the big leagues this long, still only 29 years of age. The reason why the Dodgers traded for him last year and he got the World Series ring with them. And the Rays beat him up pretty good on June 20th, but certain days he can still be very good. There's Montero, yesterday's winner. Aranda in the air to right. On its way. And it's 1-0 Rays on a first-inning homer by Jonathan Aranda. And the All-Star Aranda continues to pad his numbers on his way to Atlanta. Number 11 for Aranda.
You know, Jonathan's power is to the pull side. Watch how quick the hands are here. Trying to come up and in. And that ball starts to leak back towards the middle of the plate, still on the inner half. And Aranda just too quick. Hands get through. Barrel gets through. Early lead.
When I see him hitting 95 like that, BA, I think of his early days in the big leagues for the Rays, how he'd swing through those pitches. You know, he'd get any velocity, and he just couldn't seem to catch up to it. And the hands have somehow gotten even faster as the confidence has grown.
Yeah, and I think that his anticipation's good. I think that he's a good game planner. I think that he goes up there with an idea of how he's being attacked in that particular series, maybe by that particular pitcher. So he's more well prepared. But he doesn't overswing either.
No.
You know, you see some guys, they take these big swings and the swings get long, and when swings get long, they slow down. Aranda keeps a pretty quick bat, you know, at least for him, through the zone. He doesn't get long. He handles the bat very, very well with that up-the-middle type approach.
1-2 to Caminero. Well, the Rays scored 4 big ones against Flaherty back on June 20th at Steinbrenner Field. That was just in the first, and then they scored 4 more in the third and knocked him out of the game. Part of what the Rays did that day, too, they waited him out. He wasn't throwing enough strikes. So Junior chased there. That was the pitch that they didn't chase that night.
Well, but what was the count in this particular AB? It's 1-2. Yeah. And that's why when pitchers can pitch out in front, they can get a hitter to expand because the hitter is on edge. He's looking to protect. So you take this and he's right in the outside corner, and Junior's like, I got to go after that. Obviously didn't need to go after it, but in the 1-2 count, you get him a little antsy.
So 2 out, nobody on, and here now is Josh Lowe.
You know, that's a pitch right there. If the count's 2-1, Junior doesn't even lean out.
Yeah. What a difference. Being ahead versus behind in the count.
Oh, it's so important.
One ball, one strike to Josh Lowe. Out of play. Would have had a hit yesterday. Riley Green stole that away from him.
What's new?
I know.
He's been doing it the entire season series. You think about some of the catches that he made at Steinbrenner in that 3-game series. Picked up right where he left off last night.
Got him. And the Rays go down. But they also grab a first-inning lead thanks to that man's 11th home run of the year, Jonathan Aranda.
Well, Ryan Pepio making his 19th start of the season. Got that 6th win his last time out against the Athletics. And throwing the ball overall well. Another quality start. He's got 11 of those on the season. A very good ERA at 3.34. The whip, outstanding.
And it's 0-2.
And I'll tell you, it's just one of those things where that fastball usage as the season has gone on has continued to climb. Now up to 44%. Changeup, very good offering for him at 24. The slider, cut it. Every now and then that curveball and two-seamer, more of a surprise pitch, but that's the one right there. That's it. That's why he has so much success against left-handed hitters, because the fastball has ride and run, so he'll take it middle of the plate, middle away. Guys can't catch up to it. Guys can't get out there. And then once they start to hone in on that pitch, now comes the changeup down and away. That's why for the last 2 years, you look at left-handed hitters' numbers against Ryan Pepio, abysmal.
Flared to right by Torres, and there's Josh Lowe. 4 pitches, 2 outs.
Let's take a quick look at the rest of that Rays defense, brought to you by Racetrack. And joining Josh Lowe in that outfield is going to... Now you look at the season numbers against left-handed hitters, and there's a good one in the box right now in Riley Green. So this will be a good matchup. But lefty's hitting 173 off Pepio.
Blew it by him.
Did. Just a challenge heater. And he can do that because of that deceptive carry. He can beat you in the zone. And this is where, and Pepio, think about it, the fastball, the changeup. And we were talking about that fastball, okay, where Riley Green, that right there, a little kryptonite, and then down here. And that plays right into Ryan Pepio's arsenal when you think about the four-seam fastball, running it up and away in the zone, and the changeup down and away.
Boy, what an inning for Ryan Pepio. A pair of 3-pitch strikeouts and a 1-pitch out on the guy in the middle. That's a dominating first for Pepio, the Rays. Lead through one very quick inning. Only go to the second. Here's the return of Ha-Sung Kim. I think the Rays feel like they dodged a bullet with the calf cramp. That's all it turned out to be. So had to sit out, 3 games, and now he is pronounced good to go. You know, he wanted no parts of an injured list situation.
Oh,
again,
no, he had been on that long enough.
You bet. So his second game as a Ray. The bender by Flaherty. Then it'll be Mangum and Simpson here in the second inning. That's a smash into left for a base hit.
Boy, he hung him a slider and did him a favor. Got up in the count and then made a mistake. And that's what you're looking to do as a hitter. You're looking to protect, and then all of a sudden you're gifted this. And you're like, oh, okay. I'll hammer that into left field, get this inning off to a quick start.
What about joining a team midseason? You know, he really wasn't around much during spring training because he was rehabbing. And you got a team that already has its rhythm and their flow, and they've been winning games, and he's just trying to merge into traffic, I guess.
And that, for me, be yourself. Don't try to do too much. Oh.
Couldn't get him, and it's 2-on for the Rays. Another Mangum special.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he has cornered the market on that. I mean, just put the ball in play. Just a little chopper. And look, you see right there the indecision out there by Baez, too. He wasn't really sure what he was going to do. And then out of the box, he gets the top-end speed very quickly. Left-handed hitter, he's closer to first base. And how many infield hits does he have?
Tons.
Closing in on 20 at least.
2-on and speed on for the Rays, and now speed on at the plate.
This is a pitcher's nightmare.
Yes, it is.
Having to deal with all of this. You think a lot of times it's the power guys. Well, the power guys, a lot of them have holes in their swing. Mangum puts the ball in play. Chandler Simpson hasn't struck out in 45 plate appearances, and they've got speed, blazing speed. And right now, you've got trouble all over the base paths and at the plate. 11-game hitting streak for Chandler.
Lots of choices for the Rays. They can put on all different kind of plays here. And then when you bring the corners in, which opens up some space on the infield.
Especially on that left side. Ooh.
1-2.
Yeah. I mean, you cut down. The third baseman's playing at the cut. He has no range. I mean, it's a step and a dive one way or the other. So range is very limited. Now McKinstry can afford with 2 strikes to move back to a more traditional position. But when he's at the cut and Baez is shading up the middle, that's a huge hole.
2-2. And when the outfield tilts a bit to the opposite side, but we saw him line a double off the wall and right yesterday. 2-2 with 2 on, nobody out. And there goes the strikeout streak.
Of course it does, because we mentioned it.
So it ended at 45, I think
45 plate appearances. On any given night can miss a lot of bats and put together a really good start.
Now Jose Caballero, more speed at the plate and on the bases. You know, the Tigers, who had this incredible record of 58-34, best record in the majors, but when Flaherty pitches, they're only 5-12. So that's plenty under. So the other starts, when it's not Flaherty, they're on the pace to win about 114 games this year. You kind of got to get to Flaherty if you want to beat the Tigers in the series. Yeah, losing 12 out of his 17 starts this season. One ball and 1 strike to Caballero. Shallow center for out number 2. Credit Flaherty. Runners have to hold here, and it'll take something from Matt Thaiss. On the Tigers PA today that I thought would interest you, that they've got a 14-game lead in the American League Central, almost to the All-Star break. The American League split into 3 divisions, or both leagues did, in 1995. The biggest All-Star break lead for a team ever in that division is 13 games by the 99 Cleveland then Indians.
Oh, yeah.
So the Tigers could end up having the biggest lead of the All-Star break of any team ever in the AL Central, which is now, been around 30 years. That is 30 years, right? 1995?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it is.
It is.
My left knee has just started to ache, Andy. Thank you.
I just got another gray hair, too.
I wish I had another gray hair. I guess maybe in the beard.
1-2 the count, or 1-1 the count to Thaiss. 2 on, 2 out. Dice had a good series against the Tigers, 3 for 8 back in Tampa. Well, Rays had first and second, nobody out, still there with 2 down. Flaherty trying to quiet the Rays, who would like to pile on here as much as they can. Rays scoring just 1 run yesterday. Tigers during this 4-game winning streak have given up a grand total of 4 runs, at least until tonight. And he'll strand both runners. So 2 guys get on, but Flaherty toughens up. The Rays. I like those hand-painted Tigers. That one right there up on the scoreboard.
Did not realize they were hand-painted, which actually does make it a lot cooler.
And it was standing room only on that thing. Not an open Tiger to be found. So we go to the home second, Spencer Torkelson.
Now, do you think Ryan bumped the line, or do you think that he waited in line?
Out of my way, kid.
Yeah.
I got TV to make.
Well, he is our very own Brian Fantana, the man on the street.
Tell you what, that's not an easy stand-up to do. There he is. Good focus there as he's spinning around in circles. Nicely done.
He's still on it? That's a good ride.
It's a great ballpark here in Detroit. And their fans, I always give them credit. Even when the Tigers lose, they usually have very good crowds throughout the year. And then when they're winning, this place comes apart. That didn't look like a good face there.
Well, and let me tell you, I was back up after my hit in the pregame show, right? And that's when he was starting to eat. So this is fresh meal. It could come up.
Yikes. You might want to jump off that thing. All right, he's all right. I think we got the good thumbs up. Meantime, Pepio with another strikeout. Winsell Perez, I should say. And now 0-2. Pepio so far, it's 5 batters in. Really filling up the zone.
That's when he's at his very best. You know, he's able to repeat that delivery. Again, pitch from out in front. He's got dominant stuff.
Hard to get to that pitch up there, but Perez did.
And that's where you can say, you know what, do I think I can still beat him up there? How about that breakout? 13 strikes up against 2 balls. And if not, you can go with that changeup down and away. He decides to go with the curveball. That's a pitch that he typically is not going to early in a game. So interesting right there. That's something to keep your eye on if that curveball is going to play a bigger role here tonight.
Well, the last couple of starts for Pep, his changeup has defied him a little bit. He has not had quite the command of it. And there's a cutter that takes care of him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. That's a pitch that you're seeing around the Rays staff. That is a huge pitch for them. You think about Shane Baz. You kind of going away from the slider and going more towards a cutter. You can still get the swing and miss, and you see how that ball still has a little bit of tilt to it. And hitters are, they're swinging where it's coming out of your hand. So even if there's just a little bit of movement, it can find a way to miss that bat. And Pepio certainly did right there.
2 out, no one on for Dylan Dingler.
Another curveball. Okay.
Well, is part of this, too. He just saw them a couple starts ago.
Yeah, and did you hear his comments? He was talking about, I'm not going to go through the first time through the order, first pitch fastball to everybody. So this is all about mixing it up.
2 perfect innings for Ryan Pepio to start the night.
Little balcony area that's got some equipment, and Ryan went out there and got a quick little workout on one of the exercise bikes out there during our series in San Diego.
I don't think he wanted to leave that, nor does he want to leave this.
They may not let you.
You may be trapped on there. Well, Yandy Diaz begins second time through the order against Jack Flaherty. Right at the edge. 2-1. That's a heck of a 2-0 pitch right there.
You've got a dangerous hitter at the plate. Flaherty just does not want to give in and hand him a fastball. And you're right. The ability to throw the secondary pitches when behind in the count, huge for a pitcher.
3-1.
Probably come with another one of those right here. Try to get Yandy, who's obviously a 3-1 count. He wants to swing.
It's hit hard into the hole. A long throw and out. Baez gets him.
What a play by Javier Baez in the hole, sliding to the backhand.
Not bad for a center fielder.
And I was going to get to that at some point during this game, and it was a slider. But look at the slide, backhand up, and off-balance throw right on the money. So how does your Game 1 of the series third baseman, Game 2 of the series shortstop, start the All-Star game in the outfield?
I guess he can do it all. All right, now Jonathan Aranda homered his first time up. Aranda and Baez will be teammates next Tuesday in the American League. Alex Bregman today said that he will not be playing in the All-Star game, so we wonder if that opens up a spot perhaps for Junior Caminero. And there will be more dropouts and additions. Look at that. That's a pretty good crew.
Starting at 3 different positions in 3 different All-Star games, obviously. Pete Rose, Hall of Famer. Killebrew, Hall of Famer.
Aranda left center field, and that one's hit well. And that one is off the wall. Well, Jonathan knocked in the only run yesterday, and he's got a homer and a double so far today.
Yep, and using the whole field. You know, again, most of his power is to the pull side. That ball was well hit, but deep out into left center field in one of the bigger outfields in Major League Baseball. He does a great job of staying on that pitch. Look at how he doesn't pull off of it. Stays on the pitch and takes it the other way. Hit it where it's pitched. Aranda's been doing that so effectively all season. That's why he has the numbers that he does.
A 2-bagger for Aranda. 18th double. Now here's Caminero. But he pulls it to Baez, which will keep Aranda there, and there's the second out. Junior has been swinging at Flaherty's pitches his first 2 times up.
A little over anxious, and you know, a lot of times you will try to take advantage. Again, Flaherty, you said, veteran, he's been around. You've got a young hitter at the plate with a lot of power, but a lot of, you know, they want to get after it. A young guy that's figures that he can, or feels like he can handle any pitch. So you try to take advantage of that aggressiveness. Use that against them.
Now the Rays need something with 2 outs from Josh Lowe. One and 1. Josh is 1 for 14 against Detroit this year. But with Brandon Lau out, they need other guys to take it another little step up here. And that's a big bat to be missing from the order. 2 and 1.
Oh, yeah, because not only is it an instant power source, but Brandon has been doing a great job, especially over the last month, for average.
Yeah.
He's gotten his average up to around 280. And you talk about the power that comes along with it.
Rays aren't sure, to be honest, if Brandon will be back before the All-Star break or not. They're certainly hoping so, and they want him to do very, very little in terms of game prep. He's pretty much unavailable today, we would think.
You just don't want to mess around with the side. You know, with all of the force and torque in this game, whether you're talking about from a pitcher or a hitter, that is something that you just do not want to mess around with. And he does not go back out on the field until he feels 100% in my book. Because if not, you run the risk of all of a sudden that side becomes a strained oblique, and you know how long those things can take.
Take out the rest of the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Timeout.
Late.
Very late.
Very late. And, you know, the hitters, we've seen it since this has been implemented in the game of baseball where they get the 1 timeout. Now it becomes strategic when they use it. Certain counts, they'll call them late to try to throw, a pitcher off balance.
Three and two.
And you wonder if they do this too. Call the timeout late, okay? And as soon as you call the timeout late, peek back. Where was the catcher sitting up?
Better not get caught.
Better not get caught, but it doesn't mean you can't do it.
Payoff pitch. Rolled foul. Might have chased ball for it.
Because
curve going down at him.
Because here's the other thing. when you call time, and you're looking back to see if you get it from the umpire. Well, just so happens that in your periphery,
right,
you maybe can tell where that catcher's sitting up and get an idea of how they're going to try to put you away.
Sounds like somebody tried that on left-hander Brian Anderson in a game once.
Listen, you don't think these guys are looking for every advantage? Yeah, I mean, out at second base trying to pick up, the pitcher, what grip he has.
Into right field, Aranda is going to test the arm of Perez. He's got a strong one, but Aranda easily scores, and Josh Lowe delivers. It's 2-0 Rays. Perez got an assist in a game in Cleveland, their last series, where he threw it harder than he's ever thrown, a heart of his career, 98 miles an hour on a throw. So it was a risk to send Aranda, but a good risk.
That particular throw just got pulled a little bit, and that takes Dingler away from home plate, and Aranda's then able to get in quite easily, like you said. But it was a hanger, another slider. And it's funny because when Flaherty released that pitch, and I've often said any guy that's been in the booth that's a pitcher will tell you, they're being honest, sometimes when the ball comes off your fingers that you could be in some trouble. And you could see that in Flaherty's body language. He threw that slider and realized, oh, no, I hung it.
Yeah.
And Josh Lowe was able to make him pay for it. But you have that feeling as it's coming off your fingers. You realize you did not execute the pitch. It's going to catch too much plate. And he's probably going to hit a hard.
Ha-Sung Kim had a hit his first time up. The throw by Perez in Cleveland, 98 miles per hour, was the hardest throw by a Tiger outfielder this year by 8 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
Until last night, 95 on that throw from McKinstry to get Jansen.
Yeah, that was a heck of a throw. A great deke by Baez at third, but the throw by McKinstry is why that play was made.
Flaherty jumps ahead now 1-2 on Ha-Sung Kim. Down he goes. Well, that really has been the swing and miss pitch, as BA has been saying. He's got 5 strikeouts. You're online at Rays5050.com. McKinstry and then Vierling and Baez. And Pepia's got a 2-0 lead here early on. Oh, 2. And we talked about how Montero yesterday had all those first pitch strikes. Pepio's had one to every hitter so far tonight. He has owned the count control. When that thing popped in there at 97. Beginning another turn through the Rays rotation. It's the Rays opening day starter. Everybody's made every start this year. 19th turn through. 1-2 to count. Camanero's calling for it out into the sunshine to grab it. Let's go down now and check in, now that the ride's over, I guess, to Ryan Bass.
Yeah, fellas, a little winded. We went about 6 or 7 times around that thing. Good to report and happy to report the lunch did stay down, so that is certainly important. Even better report to give you, though, on Shane McClanahan. It was a great day down in Port Charlotte today with Shane McClanahan making his return to the mound in his first rehab appearance. All signs pointing to some really good progress. He tossed a scoreless inning for the FCL Rays, retiring 3 of the 4 batters he faced, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. His first game action since being shut down with that triceps nerve-related issue in the spring. Kevin Cash called it a good report and a big first step for Mac. Pitching coach Kyle Snyder echoed that. He said he threw all 4 pitches. The zone rate was good. The intensity, what you expect, a great first step. Now, the Rays are hopeful Mac will make his next appearance with AAA Durham on Sunday, but they're going to take it day to day. His teammates, they cannot wait to welcome him back. Taylor Wall saying, we all know the force that he is when he's on the mound. Adding him to our rotation gives us a real chance to get hot in the second half.
Thank you, Ryan. It sure does. And it's hard to not get too excited because it's just 1 inning and, you know, in the low levels today. But it's quite appetizing to think what he could bring to this group.
And now you have to kind of go through it again. It's one thing to be out there throwing bullpens and thinking that you're going max effort. It's something entirely different to get out on that mound with another team and hitters getting in the box ready to go. And this is a competitive game situation. That's when you realize, can I do this? Can I go full bore or can I not? And so all the bullpens in the world are great to get you to that point, even a simulated game. But the fact that he was out there competing against another team, going after it, and comes out just an inning, but still an inning of really competitive pitching, that is very encouraging.
The inning that they were hoping to see. Baez, after the hit by pitch to Veerling, pops out to Caballero, and there's a second out.
And so now you start the spring training slow buildup.
Yeah.
And you're going to take the buildup slow, and you're going to get him to a certain pitch count, and hopefully everything goes according to plan. And if it does, my goodness, what comes along in August potentially?
September, October, and you know what? They don't have to worry about so much anymore. Innings.
Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely, you could turn them loose.
It would be a heck of an acquisition. Everybody hoping Shane gets back healthy and ready to go as soon as he can without rushing the process. But when he gets back, it's going to be a big day. All right, 2 out, and here is Colt Keith. Might have busted his bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, if you look at the American League East, Blue Jays, they haven't had a 10-game winning streak in 10 years. If they beat the White Sox tonight, then they will.
15 games over 500.
Yeah.
I mean, you put together quite the stretch and leapfrogged everybody.
Yes, they did. Yankees are playing Seattle. Blue Jays are playing the White Sox. Red Sox still there very much in the race, and they're at home against Colorado. So if you're going to talk about matchups, Rays are playing the best team in the game right now, while the Blue Jays and Red Sox are playing bottom feeders.
And then from here, the Rays go to Fenway. They go to Boston for 4.
Veerling runs. He is safe.
Trying to get that tag. Kim trying to get that tag down on the back leg of Veerling and just was not able to do it. That throw by Theis runs just a little bit to the second base side of the bag. And so you see, snap it down, and he was by him.
Sometimes it can get you like on the calf or the spike.
That was close, too. Closer on from that angle than...
So runner at second with 2 out. And 2-2 here to Keith. Full count. First time Pepio's been in a deep count and behind in a count tonight. That's Gleyber Torres on deck. Flared to left. A lot of foul territory here, but not enough. And it stays 3-2. Keith with a home run yesterday. He's starting to blossom as a young star on the rise for the Tigers. They signed him long-term last year. Struggled through his first full season. Definitely starting to learn the league. Just outside. So a hit by pitch and a walk. And it's the tying runs aboard for Gleyber Torres.
I don't know how you lay off of this. This ball kind of takes off at the very end and just off the edge of the plate. That was really close. And a lot of times you see that pitch called. It's close enough to be called, but just off the plate.
So tying runs on. Here's Torres. Back up the middle, a friendly hop. Cabby takes it to the base and gets there ahead of Keith to retire the side. Still no hits by the Tigers, but they lead. AmarantBank.com/Rays card. Rays fans looking on. Their team up 2-0 over the homestanding Tigers as we go to the 4th inning. Magnum with what else? An infield single. Rays did get 2 on, none out in the second. Didn't score, but single tallies in the first and third. They've got an early lead on Jack Flaherty. It's 3-0. You know, I was asking Kevin Cash today, PA, about, especially with Brandon Lau out, if he would consider moving, say, Simpson or Manga more towards the top of the order. And yes, they have given it thought, but it's a couple things about that. And one of them is he likes Mangum and Simpson together because of the chaos they can create with their speed, but he thinks it's their success in the middle of the order that is helping the bottom part of the order then get more productive, which then in turn helps out the top. So it's almost like having a second layer of leadoff type hitters.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that thought. You can think about maybe moving them and splitting them up and taking Simpson to the top of the order for the time being. But I do like them together. I do like them more towards the bottom of the order. As you were talking, it makes for a more circular order. It makes the guys at the bottom more productive. Look at what the 7, 8, 9 hitters have done, over the last few weeks for the Rays. Driving in, I think the last 15 or 16 games, they've driven in over 30 runs. Their runners in scoring position average is outstanding. And so you create a really problematic type lineup to have these guys a little further down in the order. And this is what we're talking about. They're averaging 2 runs batted in a game for the last 16 games. Runners in scoring position average 381. 12 of the 16 they've driven in at least one. So it is a very dynamic lineup. And yeah, you don't want to move guys around too much.
And there's a leadoff walk. Mangum draws it, and now the Rays have speed on. Well, you can get ready to visit the Upside Down on Monday, July 21st, when the Rays host the White Sox. Fans can purchase a Stranger Things special ticket package. You can do that in advance. That includes a bucket hat. For more information, visit raysbaseball.com/StrangerThings. See Simpson striking out his first time in 46 plate appearances that he fanned. Very infrequently, especially for a guy this new to the league. More than impressive. Mangum back in. Fouled off, and Simpson behind 0-2.
Well, and with that fastball having a little bit of elevation, you wouldn't be surprised at all right now if Flaherty doesn't come with that curveball. That's what he was able to get him with in the first at bat. He's got him set up for it again right here.
Boy, he got him twice. There it was.
You see that coming. How about that? Simpson, who hadn't struck out in 45 plate appearances, goes down in his first 2 tonight.
Some good stuff there from Flaherty, and there's one away. And Caballero pumps the first one up to shallow right field. Labor Torres for the second out. Well, credit to Flaherty today. When the speed guys have gotten on, he's made some big pitches. And Mangum, after the leadoff walk, still at first with 2 out. Here's Matt Thaiss.
He's given up 5 stolen bases this season in 6 attempts. Not bad for a right-handed pitcher.
No. Especially for a guy that's had so many base runners.
It's time to extend that lead a little bit.
2-0. Well, the risk-reward situation, you'd love to see Mangum get to second to create an RBI situation for Thaiss. At the same time, if he gets thrown out, then you got the 9-man leading off next inning. Would you prefer the leadoff man? So, see what he does. Not going. And Thaiss just helped him out. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think Thaiss was yelling at himself as he was swinging.
Yep.
As he started the swing and realized, this is not going to go well.
Well, I mean, that's the same kind of pitch that he struck out Chandler. That thing must have some late snap to it. Thing is, it never does really look like a strike out of hand. But it must be tempting to the left-handed batters. 2-1. Hit fairly well, but Vierling got a good jump. And the Rays do nothing with a leadoff walk from Mangum. 3.5 complete. But folks, you should see the A on the air guitar between innings. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
The Toyota Keys, the best records in the game today. The East Detroit Tigers, Dodgers, and Astros just had a series where the Astros swept L.A. in L.A.
Yeah, that was something to behold. This Astro team, they got off to a slow start, just put themselves out of the picture, and they have been just coming on like gangbusters. Tigers, they've been dominant all year. They got the 2-game lead on the Dodgers, and I think that's how A.J. Hinch is going to keep this team focused, because we've talked about a couple of different times the lead that they have in that American League Central and how they've pretty much wrapped it up already. How do you keep that team motivated? Best record in the league, home field throughout, and that's exactly what it will be for Hinch and this team.
2-2. I think the Astros are an incredible story because they're doing this after losing Bregman, losing Tucker, and not having Yordan Alvarez there. And losing all that starting pitching that they've had.
3 of their biggest guns.
Amazing.
Yep.
What they've done. 2-2 to Green. Full count.
Pepio upset with himself. He's been attacking him in this at-bat just like we thought that he would. Elevated fastballs and the changeup, and he got under that one right there. See if he's going to try to be bound and determined to make the adjustment. He did.
He did.
That's exactly. You could almost tell in the body language, like, okay, this is what I need to do. Stay on top of it. Don't get underneath it. When he stays on top of his changeup, you see the action that he puts on it. It just bottoms out of the zone so quickly. And this one actually, stayed in the bottom of the zone. But look at how he turns it over. And then watch, as the swing starts, the ball is just not there. I mean, Riley Green missed that by inches.
Yeah. Little Bugs Bunny action on that changeup.
Another curveball. So the curveball playing a little bit bigger of a role here tonight for Pepio, and they've been sharp.
This looks like some of the best stuff he's had about the last handful of starts. As I say that one is drilled by Torkelson. Mangum can't get it. Home run. First hit, first run for Detroit. Spencer Torkelson.
Look right there. I'm not sure if that was a cutter that he got around or same thing with the slider. It was an 89-mile-an-hour pitch, and it just didn't do much. It stayed flat. It stayed up. Torkelson was able to barrel it and get it just over that wall and left.
So Tigers on the board, and now Pepio's got to bounce back.
I think that was the slider. I think that was just a hanging slider. He just got on the side of it a little bit, and it spun and didn't really have a lot of movement to the glove side.
Well, Rays have had a lot of base runners. They've left 4 men on so far. They've got the lead, but the Tigers, after their first hit, have cut it in half. An enormous center field. Plenty of room to roam for Chandler Simpson for the second out. So Winsell Perez is 0 for 2, and that'll leave it for Dylan Dingler. Flared to the middle of the infield. Kim shows off the arm. And I guess that right shoulder's feeling very good because that throw was perfect by Ha-Seong. Well, that's a nice little test pass there by Ha-Seong Kim. Now, third time through, Yandy Diaz against Flaherty. Rays could use an answer after the Torkelson home run. Rondo will follow, and then Junior Caminero. Little busted bat, slow roller. And safe at first. The ball came out of the mitt of Torkelson.
Now, I'll be anxious to see if Torkelson holds on to it. Is that an out?
Yeah.
There's a low throw there by Baez. He had to rush that throw.
Might have beaten it anyway.
That's close. Yeah, so close. Moot point when that ball comes free.
So not Yandy's prettiest hit, but he will gladly take it. And for Yandy, that is his 100th hit of the season to lead the team.
Oh, wow. what can you do?
That's what happens when you're having the kind of year the Tigers are having.
And there is nothing that Yandy can do. Aranda puts the barrel on the baseball and hits another rocket. Watch this. Over just like that.
Couldn't have thrown it with better aim. So 2 out, nobody on. And that'll leave it for Junior Caminero. There are years, and this is to take nothing away from the Tigers, there are years, though, where it does seem the bounces go your way. And the Tigers are having one of those. Well, he struck out Junior the first time, got him to reach and roll over on a grounder his last time. And Flaherty's so far having his way with young Junior.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you just continue to do that? You saw the way that Junior pulled off of that particular pitch. That left hip started to leak up the line. The swing got a little bit long. See if that was a show fastball. I'm going to show you that fastball. I have the count in my favor. I'm going to go with that pitch, see if you'll chase it. If you don't, I'm going to use it to set up that curveball down there anyway. Oh, wow.
Well, he doubled up.
Overpowered him, yeah.
All right, well, Rays get a leadoff hit and only bat 3 batters. This TV timeout. To the home fifth in a 2-1 Rays lead. McKinstry, Vierling, and Baez. Pepio having given up just 1 hit. The home run by Torkelson. Right at the edge, 3-1. Leadoff walk to Zach McKinstry. Tying run at first, McKinstry leads the Tigers with 11 stolen bases. And Vierling, the batter. Two walks and a hit by pitch in the last couple innings for Pepio. McKinstry easily back.
By that way, that lead was huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
See how far McKinstry goes this time. Tempting Pepio to throw over. Wow. Look at that lead.
Yeah, that's massive.
Not going, though.
Oh, and here's the thing. There has been a lot of action with Pepio on the mound. You know, you look at the stolen base earlier, 10 out of 16 opposing base stealers. He does have 3 pickoffs. So you could be playing with fire here if you continue to get out that far.
Theis, meantime, will go and talk to him. Attention divided a little bit, too, with the tying run at first.
Fall behind in the count, and this may be a time to pick over. You know, you're already the hitter's at the advantage here with the count. And if you look over that left shoulder and you can't see him, or he's that far off again, it might be worth a shot. Like I said, he's got 3 pickoffs.
Well, your Rays come back from the All-Star break Friday, July 18th, with a second half beginning and a clash against the Orioles. Secure your seats to the 3-game series today at RaysBaseball.com. Foul off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pepio retired the first 7 batters he faced. He hit this man Vierling, and then after a walk, he was able to get Torres to ground out. Last inning, just the solo homer. This inning, a leadoff walk. On 2-2, McKinstry runs. Strike 3 called.
I think he called a ball.
They called a ball, and he's safe. Pardon me on jumping the gun.
Well, here's the thing. You looked at the pitch in the zone. It was a strike. But because Theis comes up out of there as quickly as he does, you could hear Jordan Baker yell ball. That's right there.
Wow. So it's a runner at second with nobody out and a 3-2 pitch on the hitter. Tying run in scoring position.
Did you see Theis got up early, too? You know, if you go back, watch Theis before the pitch is even delivered, he starts to stand up. So now you're kind of blocking the view. Now, Jordan Baker is a really tall home plate umpire, but watch Theis. He's on the knee, and he's already up.
So maybe blocked?
Yeah, a little bit, because it was right at the bottom of the zone, and we got another hit here.
So Vierling, for the second time, and it's first and second, nobody out.
Well, the first one was an off-speed pitch. I think it was either the slider that backed up or a cutter. It was 89, 90 miles per hour. And let's see what Vierling does here. Yeah, he's trying to throw another cutter. It backs up, and he just allows it. He just takes it. He's got a pad there.
Javi Baez coming up. Tigers down a run and have 2 on and nobody out. Then the top of the order. So Pepio and the Rays in a degree of trouble here in the 5th inning. Pepio's got to make some big pitches. And you can get Baez very aggressively. Does he go after pitches? You can get pitches out of the zone that he'll chase. Been part of the story of his career. squibbed, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, well, and now's where you expand, because you're absolutely right. Javier Baez is a very, very aggressive hitter. You look at a season ago, in a similar amount of games played, he hit, I think, $184. He came into the series hitting .280. So he's raised his average almost 100 points, but he hasn't done it by changing his hitter's profile. He's still very aggressive. He still will expand. That's a good take by him. What he has done is he's moved up in the box just a little bit, and he's doing a better job against off-speed pitches and fastballs, particularly that fastball. Hit 200 against that pitch a season ago. This year was 325 coming into play yesterday. So handling velocity better.
He got him.
Change.
And that's what he needed to do.
I'll tell you what, one after the other during the course of that at-bat. And again, you're able to take the one change up to get it to 1-2. But Pepio said, let's see if you can lay off this one.
You got to think at some point Baez is going to bite.
Yeah, of course. He may have gone with the James Shield way that he used to do things. He'd get ahead of you 0-2, and then he was just going to throw his changeup until you may take the first one, you may take the second one. He knows eventually you're going to give in.
That's it. Now Colt Keith. That's the tying run at second to Kinstry. Go-ahead run Veerling at first. And slice to left. Cora's going to wave home. And the Tigers have tied it up. Now throw back to second. Veerling's in a rundown. Kim tags him out. The Tigers have tied it, but there's 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, that's a big out right there. Unfortunately, they tied it, but it could have been much worse. You could have had runners now at first and second with just 1 out, and instead, right there, just slaps it the other way. But he's got an entire open left side, basically, to work with. And then the throw right there, cut off by Caminero and alertly gotten off to Caballero. Good job by Caballero to handle that throw by Caminero because it was down in the dirt, so he had to scoop it out, get it to Kim, and get the out. A lot going on that play.
Yes, there was. So 2 out, man at first, tie game. And the batter down is Gleyber Torres.
Came across a stat today
Yeah.
that I found astounding, might be too strong, but it was definitely surprising. Gleyber Torres on the season has walked 49 times. Okay. He has struck out 43. More walks than strikeouts.
Yeah.
That's a rarity.
Yes, it is. Shows you how locked in he is at the plate this year. His first year out of pinstripes.
Yeah, and he would not have been a guy that I thought was going to have more walks than strikeouts this deep into the season, but that's the fact.
He's been on base 20 straight games, but 0 for 2 tonight. Beautiful changeup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, sometimes his changeup does remind you of James Shields. The righty on righty changeup. 2-2. Straightens him up, but now it runs full, and you got Riley Green on deck. Keith will be running at first with 2 down. There's Green. Keith runs. Dropping quickly, it's a base hit. And the Tigers have first and third. 21 straight games on base for Torres.
Did a really nice job of staying inside of that pitch, getting the hands a little closer to the body and able to push it out then to right field. That's how he just kind of pulls the hands in, gets the barrel out to that pitch. If that's a pitch you're going to try to pull, it's going to each up a little bit. But he's able to stay inside and he drops it into right field. And the Tigers just won't go away here in the fifth.
They won't. And here is that man again, Riley Green with a go-ahead run, Keith at third. Pep's gotten him twice today. And for all the damage he's done, he has struck out 120 times this season.
Leads Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
How about that?
Way up into the air, but not deep enough. Lowe's got it. Pepio escapes. Well, the Tigers and the Rays are. On to the sixth in a brand new game. Flaherty has been much better than he was in Tampa when the Rays got him out in the third inning. It's Lowe, Kim, and Mankin for the Rays.
Well, a couple of things. He's been good enough with the fastball to really set up that knuckle curve, and the knuckle curve has been a really big pitch for him here tonight. And he's also, when he's gotten into trouble, he's been at his best.
Yeah.
Because the Rays have had some opportunities to maybe play a few more runs. Haven't been able to do it because he's tightened up.
For a guy, when you looked at his last four starts, 7 runs in 4 2/3 against the Reds, the 8 runs in 2 1/3 against the Rays, his worst start of the year, and the 3 runs in 6 and 5, respectively, against the A's and Nationals.
And they have had base runners in each and every inning.
Yes.
Multiple base runners in a couple of different innings. And in fact, the 2 other innings where they've just had one base runner, it's been to lead off the inning.
Yeah.
So, that's where you get some opportunities that just not able to take advantage of. Not yet, anyway.
Josh Lowe hanging in there. He tied the game, or not tied the game, he gave the Rays the 2-0 lead back in the third. Be nice to have an answer here. With Kim on deck. A couple of shakes here from Flaherty. Now said yes. Got under it and lost it to the right side of the infield. Torkelson for the first out. Well, as we all learn more about Ha-Seong Kim, we've known that he's a fast player, can steal bases, and an excellent defender, won the Gold Glove. But looking him up some more, I didn't realize quite the pop he has. He's got power also. And we might get a chance to see some of that as the weeks go along. As he tries to get his timing back here in the big leagues. Not an easy thing to do after missing all the time he has. But when he does, he'll puts him over the wall. Behind 0-2. Got one in the middle there, 0-2.
Yeah, and that pitch beat him. You know, that's what you always have to ascertain as the pitcher. Did he foul that straight back because he was right on it, or did that pitch beat him? And that pitch beat Kim.
Flaherty's talking to himself out there on the hill.
And that's why he came right back with another fastball.
Yeah.
You feel like if you're going to go with something off speed, it's doing him a favor, although that curveball is enough of an off-speed pitch, and it's a good enough pitch that he could definitely go with that at any time as he continues to pump fastballs in this AB. There it was.
There's that breaking ball.
That was the slider. Staying away from the curveball so far. You know, it's interesting, too, when you see a pitcher shaking his head like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's shaking the pitch off. That could be just the sign to shake. You're just playing mind games with the hitter. Finally, he comes with that knuckle curveball. Probably cost himself a couple of different pitches. He could have done that 2 pitches ago and gotten the same result. A lot of depth and sharp break to it. You can see Kim frustrated.
2 out, nobody on for Jake Mangum. You know, we focused on some of the bad starts because they are recent for Flaherty, but he went 6 shutout against the Cubs, a very good hitting team back in early June. 6 2-hit shutout innings against San Francisco. And he's got a 1-2-3 here in the 6th tonight. All right, back to Pepio. 2-2.
Goes to the hair. It's one of the favorites for the fans. And unfortunately, Jonathan Aranda, another hard hit ball, but lined out. So keep up.
Andy, back to you.
Thank you very much, guys.
He does have a nice flow.
Yes, he does.
He does.
It always cracks me up, though. It looks like he pulls the parachute. The helmet flies off. The hair comes flying back.
Yeah, it does create drag, I'll bet.
It does.
But speed is not, that's not the biggest part of his game.
That's
So
right.
I don't think he minds.
I hope he does it in Atlanta so the nation can see what we've been seeing all year.
It has been fun to watch. It's just so consistent, I mean, it didn't take him long to get that average up above 300, and it just has sat there. It just hovered. There's been no real downturn. Maybe a game or two at a time, but that's been about it.
And when I look back, he was not in the opening day lineup. Now, that's because Kyle Freeland, a lefty, was going, but still, when you think about that, as important a player as he has been, he was not in the opening day lineup.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? And he has given himself those opportunities to hit against some tough lefties now. Why? Because he's not pulling off the baseball. He's staying close. He's staying through the middle of the field, and that's what a left-handed hitter is going to have to do against a left-handed pitcher.
Leadoff walk. Second straight inning for Pep. That the leadoff man has gotten on free of charge. He looks like he's gritting his teeth out there on the mound.
Well, he understands the gravity of the situation. You got a tie ball game. The last thing you want to do is walk a leadoff guy. And so you're frustrated with yourself, but you've got to flush that and get right back up here and start making pitches.
Winsel Perez.
Give yourself a moment to not be real happy with the result of that, but then you got to calm back down and start making pitches and try to work your way out of this.
A pop-up, but out of play. Perez and then Dylan Dingler and then McKinstry. All due up here for the Tigers here. 6th inning. And Edwin Uceda starts to loosen up for the Rays. With the Rays going with just one reliever yesterday, bullpen's pretty much as fresh as you could hope. Blew it by him, 1-2. Popped him up again. Once again, will go out of play. Rays had the 2-0 lead. Tigers have fought to tie it. Here's Torkelson, the go-ahead run. 2-2. Perez chokes up a little more than some hitters these days. Torkelson back in. That's going to get boos from the crowd. One throw over. They don't like it.
No, they don't.
But it's universal. It happens around the game now.
It does. Home crowd does not like the pickoff attempt.
Ooh, Pepio slipped, and now it's full 3-2.
This becomes a huge pitch.
It does.
Huge pitch. No free pass. You've got to pump a strike in here. It better be a quality strike. Kevin Cash is trying to see how far along.
Well, he had such good control early in the game. Some of that has gone away. Torkelson runs, and it's driven in the air to straightaway center field. Simpson's going to track it down. So there's one out. Well, the boys of summer certainly heating up, and the Rays want you there for all the fun. Purchase a Rays Summer 3-pack to get 3 games, including parking, for just $99. Get yours today at raysbaseball.com/3-pack. Pepio checking to see where his infielders are going to set up as Dylan Dingler stands in. He would love to get the ground ball at one of them. Well, all those first pitch strikes, we were noting it early in the game. A lot of that's gone away too.
And that's where it becomes a battle. Now you're behind in the count. You're playing catch up.
2-0. He's talking to himself out there in the hill.
Well, you wonder, 18 out of 25 now, 92 pitches. So he's coming to the end of his outing. But it doesn't look like his mechanics are as linear and as in control as they were early. I mean, everything that he threw, he was reaching out front. Now you see him kind of falling off just a little bit, certain pitches. There's that ground ball you're talking about.
Maybe he'll get out of it. Will they turn it? 1 and 2. They got them both. And Pepio is through the 6th. And it might not have come as easy over the last couple of innings, but without a doubt, he gives his Rays a chance to.
I should've listened to myself. I'm always trying to second guess these things. Everything I felt, but you just had me tied up in your strings. And maybe it was all in my head, girl, I'm all in my head. But you just made me feel so insecure. All in my head, girl, I'm sick in my head. And I thought you'd be my cure. But you were never what I need. You were never what I need. You was never all that bad. Could've swore that we would last. Lovers in the winter time, sending chills down my spine. And all we do is run in circles. Yeah, we run in circles. And I can't let go. Yeah. I got all these demons, went through hell just to conceal them. Then I got so fucked up on your love. Now I'm over the feeling, now I'm dealing with feeling something more than
Well, we're down to a 3-inning game. Rays and Tigers tied at 2. Flaherty only once this year has gotten an out in the 7th inning. And in one of the more shocking developments, Chandler Simpson has struck out 2 times today.
Came into this ball game not having struck out in his last 45 plate appearances, but having trouble with Flaherty.
Yes, he is.
He has been able to put him away 2 different times with that curveball and another elevated fastball here. Does he go back to the same formula? Because that's what it's been.
He also has an 11-game hitting streak. And he is 0 for 3. Let's go down now to Ryan.
Well, boys, we've talked a lot about how Riley Green has been a pain for the Rays this season, the hits, the robbing hits for the Rays. Well, Brandon Lau and him had a pretty funny exchange back in Tampa earlier this season. Riley said he caught a pop-up from Brandon. Brandon came around and said, "I kind of hate you," jokingly and respectfully, obviously. You know, the Haggerty High alum is so proud of his Sunshine State and Orlando roots, and he's had some pretty darn good teammates that he has had in his time there down at Haggerty that have made it here to the big leagues. You think of guys like Vaughn Grisham. Yeah, think of Mountcastle, as that's Jose Caballero single there as well. Zach Eflin is a Haggerty alum, too. And every offseason, those guys tend to get together. Does that ball get away? And Cabby will have second base there. Those guys get together, and they train in the offseason. He said, we got lucky. Just a good group of guys from the same place, and now we're all in the big leagues together. It is really, really cool. Riley and I chatted about his current Tiger squad, how things have clicked for him, how proud he is to be an all-star as well. You can catch that one-on-one conversation, fellas, coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. Without a doubt, part of the pride of Haggerty High. A.J. Hinch is going to the mound. Tigers have a right-hander in their bullpen, and that'll do it for Flaherty. Interestingly enough, he had gotten Theis with relative ease both times, but into the bullpen, they go. Here's Tommy Kahnle.
Either way, Caballero told him, you're right.
One way or the other. We'll see a lot of change-ups from Tommy Kahnle. Almost exclusively change-ups.
Well, there it is. I mean, how about that breakout? How about that breakout? A 94-mile-an-hour average fastball, and you're going to go with the changeup 85% of the time.
He used to be a very hard thrower when he was in the Yankee bullpen. Now this different stage of his career. 1-1 to Theis. That's ripped to the right field corner, but out in front. And it's 1-2. We sometimes see guys that have one pitch or two pitches, mostly fastball, but I can't think too many that have just the changeup over and over.
No, not at that kind of percentage.
How can you succeed? I mean, obviously he is.
There has to be a ton of deception in that pitch. It's going to have good movement. You're going to have to sell it well, and it just has to be deceptive because that's what every hitter is sitting on. I mean, you're not real worried about the 15% pitch.
Right.
And by the way, if he does pump 3 straight fastballs by you, good for you.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that. That's not the norm. So hitters, a lot of them are going up there, sitting on that changeup, and still not able to have a ton of success against it.
Even though Theis has a relatively long swing, you'd think the changeup would be something that he could potentially catch up to. In fact, I mean, he's been out in front.
I was going to say he's going to have to wait back a little longer.
2 balls, 2 strikes. But he popped him up. Caballero not tagging, nor should he, as he'll hold it second with 2 men away.
And how about that? Changeup, all the way through the at-bat. He finally comes with the fastball, and because of all those changeups, it beats him. At 93, that ball gets in on him, and it's a lazy little pop-up. So he will use that pitch strategically. There it is. There's the breakout. And the 93 probably looked like it was 99.
That's right. All right, well, now it's up to Yandy Diaz. Infield singled in 3 trips.
Smart hitter.
Yes, he is. Fast runner at second also. Ball 1.
I like this matchup here with Yandy Diaz because he does a really good job of letting the fastball get deep if Kahnle ends up coming with one of those, but that allows him to stay on the changeups and the breaking balls.
Took that one. It's 1-1. Just kind of looking it over.
Yeah, I think he's getting a good look at 2 of them. Even count.
Rays in desperate need of a timely hit here with 2 out of the 7th. Tigers have good arms in the outfield, but if Yandy can shoot one through, you know they'll be sending Caballero. 2-1. Look at that, 7th inning or later, one of the best. Well, Canley, he makes eye contact with Caballero and just won't break the eye contact.
And looked annoyed that he had to step off. But that's Caballero. He's out there trying to get in the head of that pitcher.
Nope, not this time. And the Tigers are out of the inning. Yandy did what Canley was hoping he would. Rolled over. 7.
Two earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Spencer Torkelson with a solo home run in the 4th inning, and Jonathan Aranda has blistered the baseball tonight just about every time he's been in the batter's box. He's having a big night offensively. But here we are, battle of the bullpens, all tied up, bottom 7, on for the 40th time this season is Edwin Uceda. ERA of 5.45, whip of 142.
McKinstry, Vierling, Baez due up in a tie game, home 7th inning. Two and 0. Both starters certainly acquitting themselves rather nicely. 2 runs over 6 for Pepio, 2 runs over 6 and a third for Flaherty. Similar outings. 2-1. Three and 1. Tigers have gotten leadoff walks in each of the last 2 innings. Three balls and a strike. And a leadoff walk for the 3rd straight inning. Leadoff man on. Well, you see that man right there? 22-year-old Junior Caminero. He has just become a first-time All-Star. Added to the All-Star team officially. Major League Baseball announcing with Alex Bregman saying he can't play. American League All-Star team.
Congratulations, young man.
That's right.
How fantastic.
Oh, to be 22 and an All-Star. He may not know it yet.
I was going to just say, do you think he's even aware?
They just announced it during the game.
Got a game to win.
That's right. He'll be up second in the 8th inning. There it is. It is official. Well, that's very exciting news for Young Jr. The same week celebrates a birthday and gets named to the team. One ball, one strike. Well, the Tigers have seen a lot of good changeups today from Pepio. Is Uceda's changeup similar to Pep's? Both right-handed changeups? Do they do the same kind of thing when they're on?
Pepio gets more on top of his. You see the arm angle of Uceda. He's a little bit further down. And so it's still a huge pitch for him, and it's got its own attributes that are, above average, obviously, above major league average, the way that pitch moves. But just a little bit different of an arm angle, a little bit different movement on the pitch, but effective nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it really in both guys' arsenals, but with Uceda especially, that changeup makes his fastball better. That averages 94. Yeah. It plays up, way up, because of that changeup.
Sidearms 1 to first. McKinstry, their stolen base leader. He stole his 12th tonight. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, so how about this? So Ryan Pepio's arm angle's at 42 degrees.
Okay.
Edwin Uceda's arm angle's at 14.
Wow.
So it's a huge difference. So it's a different look on the pitch, but he's much more towards the side.
Little pop fly to Mangaman left for the first out. Well, first time All-Star now, Junior Caminero.
Field has had a flair for the dramatic, has tons of power, and is learning this league, learning on how he's being attacked. And I think that the more, when you talk about a guy that, a young player especially, how strong he is. He's a big, strong kid. And then you combine that with the fast bat. And as he learns how he's being attacked and he can find his way to hit more balls in the air, you're going to see the extra base hit numbers explode.
McKinstry goes, and he's in there.
Boy, it looked like Theis threw a changeup, like he did not have a good grip on that baseball. He's frustrated. You could see that. He came up out of there feeling pretty good, but just let's see if he got a good grip on this at all. Decent jump. Yeah, he did. You see how he kind of double clutched with the hand, did not have a good grip on it, and that ball just came out with a poof.
It is 0-2, though, to a free swinger in Baez. Oh, and that time Theis just saved a runner from going to third.
Yes, he did. That ball was yanked far and away off the plate and in the dirt. You become like a first baseman here.
Not just to even block it, but to secure it, to stop it. Fast runner at second. He did not go, and it's 2-2. Lifted in the air. Not all that deep. McKinstry will tag. Josh Lowe has it. McKinstry's going to try. Here's the throw from Lowe. Not in time.
It would have taken a perfectly on-line throw, and McKinstry was thinking to himself, it's worth the gamble. It's worth the gamble, especially after the previous two pitches were in the dirt from Uceda to try to get to third. And you see that throw just up a little bit from third base.
Right. I mean, it is a gamble, but...
Well, he's out there at second base watching Uceda throw balls in the dirt. And now he's thinking, if I can get to third and one of those get away from Theis, there's a run.
There's a low one, but it's ball one. Uceda this year has not thrown a wild pitch.
And you can credit a lot of that to Ray's catching.
You bet. Oh, is that well hit? Not only do they get the runner in from third, but the Tigers take a 4-2 lead on a 2-out, 2-run homer by Colt Keith. And Edwin Uceda has been bit by the long ball once again.
That pitch just left right in the middle of the plate, kind of fading back towards the middle. Keith not at all out of sync right there. Front leg down, hands through the zone, and a no-doubter off the bat. Wow. Wow.
38 and 2/3 innings, 9 homers allowed by Edwin Uceda.
Well, and just how about overall the body of work from the Rays bullpen over the last couple of weeks? Just having trouble getting through innings without giving up runs. I mean, it's, you go through guys in the bullpen, they're not going to be perfect all year long. But it seems as if you've got a number of different guys who have all kind of hit a little downturn at the same time. And that's why it's been magnified.
Rays bullpen has given up a run every game this month. That's going back to July 1st. And he went, but after the damage, Tigers, who were down 2, lead by 2.
But hit the ball hard.
To first baseman Torkelson for the first out.
And how important was that first out to A.J. Hinch, where he's like, I'm bringing Holton in, knowing that Junior Caminero is coming up next, the right-handed hitter, but I need to find a way to neutralize Aranda, and so far, so good.
Now the newly minted All-Star, Junior Caminero. And he's probably happy to not be facing Flaherty anymore. They gave him the edge, 0-1.
The edge. Maybe and then some. Trying to stay away from Caminero, at least here initially, because Junior's been kind of pulling off some pitches here lately.
Two and one.
Trying to get him thinking about the pitches away, run one in, but he missed. So now Junior with the count in his favor.
Two and two. Just enough cut to that pitch.
Starting it away and taking that one actually ended up towards the middle of the plate, but he's trying to backdoor that pitch again, getting Junior to reach and hopefully pull off of.
To the right side. And two men down. Good hustle, though. Junior made it close. Here in the eighth, with the Tigers now in control of the game. Reminder, tomorrow is a day game, so a quick turnaround for the Rays and the Tigers. It'll be Zach Littell against Reese Olson. A 1:10 Eastern Time start. It's 2-0 to Josh Lowe. Eric Orsi, the right-hander. Garrett Clevenger, the left-hander. Did not go 3-0. Well, Rays need a base runner any way they can to get the tying run up. Ha-Sung Kim could be that man if Josh Lowe gets aboard. Strike one call. Walker's as good as a hit here. Any way to get on. Three and two. Little chop. Holton has it and gets his man. Under control. Tyler Holton gets the Rays in order, and the Rays will be trailing.
and scratch across at least a couple in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, that's what's needed, and that's up to Eric Orsi. Green, Torkelson, Perez due up for Detroit. Orsi able to get the last 3 outs in Sunday's 10-inning win in Minnesota. Good change. And that's his best pitch. That's his swing and miss pitch.
Another guy where that changeup plays such a prominent role. And at the same time, when he does go with the fastball, it allows that pitch to play up. So there it is. And that was just nothing more than a show fastball. That wasn't even competitive coming out of the hand, but it certainly speeds up the eyes of Riley Green. It changes where he's looking. Change the eye level. And that's right. You go right back down there.
Yeah.
Remember we showed that strike zone where Riley Green has struggled this season. It has been up and away, and it has been down and away. And so that's what Orsi's trying to exploit here.
And now it's run full.
This is exactly what we're talking about. Right here, and then you want to go down and off the plate over here. Especially the right-handers with the good fastball changeup combo.
He got him with the splitter. In a different location, though.
Yeah, well, he's trying to keep that one somewhat in the zone. I don't think he wanted it there, but it worked out for him. At least he kept it away from Green, and that ball just pulled off of it. That's all. And that's nothing new for Green. Again, he's having a tremendous first half of the season. 22 homers, 72 driven in.
3 punch-outs tonight.
And that goes right along with the other stat, which is he leads Major League Baseball in strikeouts on top of all that. So,
well, Tigers only have 4 hits tonight. First one was from this man. Torkelson put one over the wall to begin the Tiger comeback. 21 home runs for Torkelson is what has been a great comeback year for him. Off the hands and into the stands.
Well, let's go back.
Like.
Yeah, that back in the 4th inning. Rays with a 2-0 lead, and our All-State good hands replay. And as you said, start that Detroit comeback.
2-2.
The home run in the 4th. They tied it up in the 5th. Taking the lead here in the 7th.
Colt Keith tied it and put him ahead. It's had a big series. Just missed. 3-2 again. That's Will Vest, who finished last night's game at this moment in a save situation. Rolled sharply foul once more. Still 3-2. And a 1-out walk. Boy, walks have really hurt the Rays tonight. Tigers got leadoff walks, 3 straight innings, and now a 1-out walk in the 8th. You can catch a Rays game at Steinbrenner Field, view the full schedule, and purchase your tickets at RaysBaseball.com. The 2025 regular season is presented by Orlando Health. Now, Winsel Perez Ball one. Boy, this game began with such incredible, precise count control domination by Ryan Pepiot.
Yeah.
But things have withered as the game's gone along. Popped out of play. $25,198 in attendance tonight in Detroit. Looking to see their Tigers win yet another series.
How about the fact that in this series so far, Tigers with 4 hits tonight.
Yeah.
9 of the 13 total hits by Tiger hitters in this series have gone for extra bases.
There you go.
9 out of 13. And then you combine, like you said, the walks, and that's how, it's not like you're lighting up the scoreboard, but extra base hits, walks on top of it. That's how you can be in command.
That and the fact that their pitchers have allowed a grand total of 3 runs to the Rays over the first, 17 innings. Another 3-ball count. Orsi to Perez. And another walk. Pepiot, a solid outing for sure.
Yep.
Did his part.
Yeah, he certainly did. And he came out sharp as a tack, just pounded the zone and then start for Ryan. That's number 12 on the season. Certainly has pitched well enough to win. Obviously, he's not going to get the win. You hope that the team is able to come back and find a way to win this ball game, but not if you keep walking guys. And that's why Kyle Snyder is out there encouraging Orsi to get back in the zone. You can't defend the walk.
Well, following the game, we'll have Rays Live post-game presented by Advan Health. Rich and Grant will be waiting for us. Junior Caminero added to the All-Star team for the American League. The Tigers coming back from down 2-0. More about Ryan Pepiot with Ryan Bass in the postgame. We'll talk to Kevin Cash as well. But Eric Orsi having some control issues as we play here in this 8th inning. He's hit into a double play tonight. In fact, he's ended 3 different innings on ground outs to the left side. Beautiful changeup. Another one, 0-2. Oh my gracious, hit him in the helmet.
With the
fastball. 0-2, yeah. And Orsi's upset at himself. Well, that'll shake a hitter up, and that'll shake a pitcher up.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's so fortunate that he's got the flap on that helmet. You see more and more of that in Major League Baseball today for this very reason.
Hangler will stay in. Amazes me that not everybody wears the flap.
4-seam fastball. Look at that, just take off.
Right.
Nowhere for him to go. And look at it, even took a piece off of that helmet.
Look at that. It chipped the batting helmet.
Chipped the batting helmet. He stays on his feet.
Wow. I've never seen a helmet break like that. Thank goodness for the helmet and for the flap. There's the mark on it, you can see when he turns his head the other way. Well, Now Orsi's got to somehow figure out a way to find the zone again. Good change, 0-1. McKinstry has twice walked, twice stolen, and scored both times. Popped him up into foul ground. Torkelson is tagging, but it's out of play. And Orsi jumps ahead 0-2. He got him with another changeup. Good splitter from Eric Orsi. And now he's got to bear down and get Veerley and keep this deficit to just 2.
Yeah, he came back nicely here after that hit by pitch, which, like you said, the potential to shake you up a little bit. But he made some good pitches there, able to get that second out. But this is the most important one. Get out of this inning, give your offense a chance just down 2.
Here's Veerling. He has been hit twice himself tonight. Foul off. In there, 0-2.
You think Veerling was seeing how quickly they could get one of those?
I'll bet.
Bolted onto his helmet. He goes without one of those flaps.
And Orsi comes back and never misses the zone again. Another 3-pitch strikeout. Rays are up against it. They need 2. Kim leads off in the 9th. $51-0.
I like what you're trying to do right there.
0-2. Well, that didn't take long. 3-pitch strikeout for Will Vest.
Well, got Kim to expand that strike zone by quite a bit. A couple of fastballs to get ahead. The breaking ball really never on the plate and just gets the half-hearted swing for out number 1.
Mangum's been on base twice. One and one. Rays could use one of those signature Jake Mangum infield hits to get Simpson up, start getting the Rabbits on the bases. Rays have only one, or make it 2 hits from the 4th inning on, and just foul.
Ask and you shall receive, Andy. Wow, almost.
So close.
And that's what he does. I mean, just looking to put the ball in play, manipulating the swing, and boy, he kept that one right up. You could see the chalk kick up all the way up the line, and then it fades a little too soon.
All right, so he's behind 1-2, got a new bat. Rays down to their final out.
They just took 97 to the top of the zone. You can see that's exactly where he's asking for it, and he put it right there. Just absolute pinpoint.
Last chance for the Rays. Also last chance for Chandler's hitting streak, 11 in a row. And he does it. He gets on, extending his hitting streak to an even dozen, and the Rays have a chance.
Boy, and that's a Simpson special right there. Keep the ball, line drives, ground balls about 90% of the time, and slap the ball the other way. Always has room to work with over there. He lets that ball get deeper in to the strike zone and just slaps it.
Caballero. Simpson takes second. I would think defensive indifference. Got the bottom of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Well, you're playing a man short these days. You'd love to be able to bring Brandon Lau off the bench, and you just can't. He's hurt. The Rays offense scoring just 3 runs in this series. Popped him up. A lot of foul territory, but it's out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Vest is 14 of 17 in save opportunities this season. He has only given up 2 home runs in 41-plus innings. The 2-2 pitch. Got him. That's the ball game. Tigers have won the series. They've got a chance to sweep tomorrow. And the Rays have now lost 8 of their last 11 games. The bullpen takes the loss tonight as the Tigers win it 4-2.
Well, you get a hitter with 2 strikes, and you can start to expand that zone. You know, you're trying to fight and trying to stay alive, and that slider Just too good of a pitch by Vest. And the Rays drop a tough one here after jumping out to that 2-run lead through the first 3 innings. Tigers come roaring back and win it 4-2. Let's go back to the 7th. This was the game-winning shot, our Chevy play of the game.